Unit 3. Skills Test. Listening. You will hear a radio interview with Sophie and Ben about a local project. For questions 1 to 6, choose the answer A, B, C or D which fits best according to what you hear.
Welcome to today's programme, where we're going to talk to Ben and Sophie from London.
Hello.
Hi.
I gather that you're both working on a special project called Rethink Reuse. Tell us a little about it.
Well, it's basically a food recovery programme, a movement against food waste and hunger in the UK. We try to rescue surplus food and give it to organisations that fight hunger.
How did you get involved?
I was sitting in this restaurant in central London, watching people throwing away trays full of untouched food that could be eaten. When I thought about all the food labelled as leftover that was getting thrown away, I felt there had to be something we could do to make good use of it. So I started talking to my friends and we came up with this project.
I've always been looking for ways to be greener, and I got involved because this project gives us the opportunity not only to feed hungry people but also to reduce waste, something that I feel strongly about. Think about all the harmful greenhouse gases that rotten food creates and all the energy that went into producing it that gets wasted. This is a serious problem. We've got to do something about it.
So how does it work?
We have a network of schools, universities, restaurants and large companies we recover food from and have it transported to our hunger-fighting partners.
Would you say that this is more of a band-aid than a long-term solution?
Well, I have to say it is. But what we are aiming for in the long run is to reduce food waste. Once we have found a way or a system to combat hunger, we should be able to focus on our secondary goal, which is the reduction of wasted food rather than the recycling of it. At the moment, our primary goal is to ensure that food doesn't go to waste while people are hungry, but we will expand to promote prevention.
Why do you consider this an important cause?
Many people think it's acceptable to dispose of surplus food, and unfortunately that has become the normal course of action in our society. We need to change that culture because 1 in 9 of the global population is suffering from hunger and 1 in 3 is malnourished. We have the ability to make a positive change within our community and beyond, something that can be done through education, engagement, involvement and commitment.
The figures are staggering. Do the majority go hungry because they can't buy food?
No, that's not the case. People are not hungry because they are poor. The poorest families grow their own food, they don't buy it. There are a number of issues. In some places, food is lost during production because there isn't a good system in place for its production nor for its storage. For example, farmers lose a lot during production, or the method they use might not be suitable. There may be other factors, such as dismal crop shortages due to drought. In spite of all of these things, there's still enough food to feed everyone in the world, but the issue is that people don't have access to it.
So do you think the work you do will solve the problem?
No, the issues Ben just mentioned can't be solved overnight. It's a formidable challenge. We are at the very first stage of tackling it, which is creating a link between surplus food and people who need it. Obviously, taking everything into account, you might say our work won't go very far, but that's an important step towards reducing it.
But how easily can food you collect reach people who need it?
The surplus food is identified, packaged and put in a freezer overnight so it can be transported to a hunger-fighting partner the next day. The process varies from place to place and is determined by the food provider, geographical area and the number of volunteers. In the first 6 months, the project delivered 30,000 meals to its hunger-fighting partners, and that was 5 years ago. But now we deliver about 250,000 meals every year, and we are inviting people to help us change that figure.
And what do you see as your greatest challenge?
Well, we'd like to reach out much more to people to show them how important it is to tackle these issues. For me, that is a huge challenge because people who are struggling with their daily lives put environment at the bottom of their priorities. They might not worry about leftovers and combating hunger either.
Yes, that lack of awareness is a hurdle. If we could plan our food shop, we would waste less. Projects like this can be a platform for educating people and our children to reduce waste and for giving people guidance on how to conserve resources and reduce their environmental footprint. It's getting that message across.
Well, thanks both. It's been a fascinating...